You have been doing everything right. For over a year, you have been attacking your highest interest debt first. Every extra dollar, every bonus, every month you talked yourself out of a weekend trip or a new piece of furniture. The math is working. Technically, and yet you still owe $61,000, and some mornings it feels like the number barely moved. That is not a discipline problem. That is a sequencing problem. The avalanche versus snowball debate has been running for 20 years. Avalanche says attack the highest interest rate first and save the most money. Snowball says attack the smallest balance first and generate the wins you need to keep going. The internet has picked sides. Calculators have been built. Articles have declared winners. But the research says something neither camp will fully admit. The answer is not avalanche. The answer is not snowball. There is a third path. And on the right debt profile, it can reduce your total interest bill by more than $20,000 compared to choosing either method alone. That is more than most people expect from a change in sequence. Let me show you where that gap comes from. Here is the problem with the 20-year debate. Both sides frame this as math versus motivation. Choose your priority, pick a method, execute. But that framing skips the question that actually determines outcomes. Which strategy produces the best real-world result across the full payoff timeline, accounting for the fact that people quit plans that feel invisible, miss payments when life changes, and sometimes abandon a technically correct method simply because it stopped feeling like it was working? That question has a research answer. A study published in the Journal of Consumer Research in 2016 by Kettle, Trudel, and colleagues tracked actual payment behavior across people carrying multiple debt accounts. Not what they planned to do, what they actually did with their money, month after month. The finding was this: people who concentrated all their extra payment on a single account at a time repaid their debt substantially more aggressively than those who spread payments across accounts simultaneously. And the motivational effect was not a one-time boost. Each account that closed increased the intensity of the next attack. The wins compounded. But here's the part the snowball camp correctly extracts from that research, and the part they tend to leave out. They are right that the motivational effect is strongest when people attack their smallest account first. When a balance drops from 4,000 to 0, the brain does not register a slightly smaller number. It registers a closed account. A 0 is a finish line crossed. That signal, the felt experience of completing something entirely, is powerful enough to carry someone forward through months of harder work ahead. What gets left out is the mechanism behind that signal. What the research actually shows is that people measure progress through proportional balance reduction within a single account. Seeing one account drop from 4,000 to 0 feels like more progress than seeing a $27,000 balance drop to 24,000. Even if the total dollars eliminated were identical. The brain is not running a spreadsheet, it is counting finish lines crossed. And that is exactly where the money lives. If your smallest account happens to carry your highest interest rate, snowball and avalanche are pointing at the same target, and this entire conversation is irrelevant. But most people do not have that alignment. Most people have a small, low-rate account sitting in front of a large, expensive one. And when that happens, pure snowball is burning motivation fuel to cross a cheap finish line, while a costly balance quietly compounds in the background. That is the real tension. Avalanche protects your wallet, but can go months without giving your brain a scoreboard. Snowball gives your brain a scoreboard, but sometimes at the wrong target. What you actually need is a system that uses both principles at the right moment in the right order. I call it the sequence map. If this kind of breakdown is what you come here for, subscribe to Sarah's Money Map. This is exactly the kind of calculation most debt payoff conversations skip over. Here is how the sequence map works. You look at every account you carry and ask one question per account. At my current extra payment level, can I close this balance completely in 3 months or less? If the answer is yes, that account is a quick kill. It goes to the top of your list, full stop, regardless of its interest rate. You are not ignoring the rate. You are recognizing that closing this account fast enough to generate the motivational signal is worth more than the interest differential involved. You are buying the psychological runway that lets the math phase run at full intensity without burning out partway through. Once the quick kills are gone, everything shifts. You have your signal. You know what it feels like to close accounts. Now you pivot to strict rate order, highest to lowest, without deviation. Quick kills first, then rate order. That single pivot point is the entire difference between the sequence map and either pure method. Now let me put real numbers on this. The average American household carries debt across 3 to 4 separate accounts simultaneously according to Federal Reserve data. That is not one problem. It is a sequencing problem. The question is never just how much to pay. It is always what to pay first. Meet Maya. Maya carries $85,000 across 5 accounts, a $4,000 medical bill at 0%, a $6,000 credit card at 22%, a $27,000 personal loan at 15%, an $18,000 auto loan at 7%, and $30,000 in student loans at 5.5%. She has $1,000 per month of extra payment capacity above her minimums. Under pure snowball, Maya's order looks like this. Medical bill first, smallest balance. Then the credit card at $6,000. Then the auto loan at $18,000. Then the personal loan at $27,000. Then the student loans. That sequence feels reasonable. Each target is larger than the last. Wins arrive. Momentum builds. Here's what it actually costs her. After the credit card closes, Snowball sends Maya to the auto loan at 7% for roughly 22 months of intensive payment. During every one of those months, the $27,000 personal loan at 15% is accruing interest. Not dramatically, just steadily, the way expensive debt always does when it is not the current target. At month 20 under pure snowball, Maya has 3 accounts left. She has made real progress, but the personal loan at 15% has been running for 20 months and has accrued roughly $4,000 in interest she did not need to pay. Under the sequence map at month 20, that personal loan is almost gone. Same monthly payments. Very different position. Picture 2 lines starting at the same point on a chart. Maya owes $85,000. In the early months, both lines move together. The medical bill disappears. The credit card closes. Both paths deliver the same quick wins. Then the lines split. The snowball line bends toward the auto loan at 7%. The sequence map line turns sharply toward the personal loan at 15%. Month by month, the distance between them widens, not because either path pays a different monthly total. Both use the same $1,000 of extra payment. The gap opens because one path lets a large, expensive balance compound for nearly 2 additional years, while the other eliminates it immediately after the quick kills are done. By the time both paths reach 0, the sequence map line has accumulated roughly $23,000 less in total interest in a scenario like Maya's. That is not a spreadsheet footnote. That is $23,000 that either flows to a lender or stays in Maya's life. Now, I want to address something directly. Someone will say the quick kill rule is just snowball with extra steps. It is not. Under pure snowball, after the credit card closes, Maya's next target is the auto loan at $18,000 because the balance is smaller than the personal loan at $27,000. Under the sequence map, Maya asks whether the auto loan qualifies as a quick kill first. At $1,000 per month of extra payment, eliminating $18,000 takes roughly 18 months. That is not a quick kill. So the sequence map skips it and pivots to rate order immediately, directing Maya's extra payment toward the personal loan at 15%. That one decision, driven by a different question, is where most of the $23,000 gap opens. The objection I hear most often runs differently. People say they have the discipline for pure avalanche. They do not need small wins. They will attack the highest rate from day one and sustain it for years. That may be true for some people. But here is the honest version of that. Avalanche requires you to be right, not for months, but for years, during which 0 accounts may close. If your highest rate debt is also your largest balance, you could spend 18 months making technically optimal payments while nothing on your list hits 0. No finish line crossed, No account closed, just a large number moving slowly. The sequence map is not designed for people who cannot handle delayed gratification. It is designed for anyone who wants to convert the early wins into fuel for the right attack in sequence rather than treating them as opposites. There is one more trap worth naming: debt consolidation. If someone offers to roll all your accounts into one loan at a lower rate, you might assume that simplifies the sequence map. It can actually undermine it. The Trudeau research knows that consolidating multiple debts into a single large balance often slows repayment over time because the monthly payment looks small relative to the total outstanding. You lose the ability to close accounts. Quick kills disappear entirely. You are left with one large number that moves slowly and delivers no closing signal. Consolidation can make mathematical sense when the rate reduction is significant. But if you are doing it primarily for simplicity, the psychology of your payoff may slow down, not speed up. Here's the protocol. Step 1 is to list all your debts with 4 data points: balance, interest rate, minimum payment, and months to zero at your current extra payment amount. That 4th column is the one most debt advice skips, and it is exactly where the sequence map is built. Step 2 is to identify your quick kills. Any account you can eliminate in 3 months or less at your current payment level goes to the top of the list, regardless of its interest rate. If multiple accounts qualify, order them smallest to largest to keep the closed account signal arriving as frequently as possible. Step 3 is to concentrate all extra payment on the top account. Do not split the extra payment across accounts. Every extra dollar goes to one account until it hits zero. Minimums on everything else. This is the mechanism the research confirms. Concentrated repayment generates the signal. Dispersed repayment dilutes it. Step 4 is the pivot. Once all quick kills are cleared, reorder every remaining account by interest rate from highest to lowest. Attack in that order without deviation. Do not revisit balance sizes. Do not reintroduce the quick kill logic. The motivational runway is built. Now let the math run. As each account closes, the freed minimum payment stacks onto your extra payment. The attack gets stronger with every finish line crossed. By the time you reach the largest remaining balance, you are directing significantly more than your original extra payment toward it every month. The full system lives on one page with 4 columns. It takes about 20 minutes to build. The only maintenance required is updating the list when an account closes. $23,000 is a number, but in Maya's scenario, it is also a period of time. At a typical household income, it represents roughly 6 to 7 months of after-tax take-home pay, 6 to 7 months of waking up and going to work, not because you are choosing to, but because the debt requires it. The sequence map does not just reduce the interest cost, it shortens the window during which your schedule belongs to your lenders rather than to you. That is what the order of your payoff actually controls, not just the total dollars paid. The date on which the money you earn becomes fully yours to direct. You did not fail by following the avalanche or the snowball. You are working from an incomplete map. Now you have a complete one. Drop your 2 numbers in the comments. Your highest rate balance and your smallest balance. Just those 2, nothing else. It takes about 30 seconds, and it would tell you immediately whether your quick kill and your rate priority are the same account, which means the map runs itself, or whether they are different accounts, which is where the $23,000 gap opens. Run the map this week. Come back and tell me what you found. I will see you in the next one. This content is not personal financial advice and is shared for education and entertainment only. Investing carries risks, so do your own research. AI-assisted elements may appear, but I, Sarah, still review and edit the final video.